Hey YouTube, welcome back to a brand new Animal Crossing video. Today we're reminiscing about an event that used to exist in Animal Crossing New Horizons at launch before Nintendo seemingly removed it from the game, changing it forever, and looking at all of the corresponding Nook Mile goals that no longer exist because of it. Now, Animal Crossing New Horizons was a very different game at launch compared to what it is now. There was no swimming, no artwork, and no Brewster. You get the idea. Fortunately, New Horizons did receive regular updates for a while, with version 1.2 introducing Nature Day about a month after launch. This update fixed several issues, but its primary focus was adding the Nature Day event as a way to introduce Leif and his garden shop to the island. Leif is of course now a resident of Halves Island, but before this he was solely a travelling character whose purpose was to sell everything garden related, from flowers to produce, in honour of Nature Day. And whilst Leif's mechanics haven't changed a great deal since his initial introduction, the Nature Day event linked to him has, as well as the Nook Mile goals associated with it. Now, back when Nature Day was added, it ran from April 23rd through to May 4th, and during this time, Tom Nook would host the event and challenge players to complete special Nook Miles Plus goals designed specifically around Nature Day. These include tree transplantation, which requires players to move trees, plant coconuts on the beach, which is pretty self-explanatory, craft fencing for beautiful gardens, which simply involved crafting fences and didn't necessarily need to be used for garden builds, pluck blossoms and craft a flower crown, which required players to pick flowers and craft a crown of their choice, so could literally be any type, weave flowers to craft a wreath, which much like the crown could be any wreath as long as you had the DIY recipe, send gratitude with flowers, which I never did personally but I'm assuming is sending them to a villager, decorate with flowers, which was simply to plant flowers, so a super easy one, get styling by wearing flowers, another easy one and simply required the player to wear a flower of their choice, plant specific bulbs with a goal available for each of the 8 different flowers, including planting cosmos seeds, hyacinth bulbs, tulip bulbs, mum seeds, lily bulbs, pansy seeds, windflower bulbs and rose seeds. And the final Nook Mile Plus goal available was plant shrub starts, which again is self-explanatory and were easily obtainable from Leif during the Nature Day event. And as a bonus, if you completed some of these goals and spoke with Tom Nook again, he would reward you with the hedge fence DIY recipe. Anyway, sadly, this has now all changed, and unfortunately the Nook Mile Plus goals no longer exist. In version 1.9, Nintendo completely removed Nature Day, in turn removing all of these wonderful garden-inspired Nook Mile Plus goals, which is a real shame. It was super fun doing something a little bit different and having an actual activity to take part in, like the bigger holiday events. But as things stand now, Tom Nook no longer hands out the hedge DIY, you get it directly from Leif after purchasing 3 things, and the Nature Day event is now celebrated as a seasonal event with the Cool Globe item available to purchase from the Nook Stop instead. Which, don't get me wrong, is a super cool throwback to Nature Day events from previous Animal Crossing games, but I definitely preferred the Nature Day's original activities before they were removed. Anyway, because of these changes to Nature Day during the first year after the launch of New Horizons, this means only versions 1.2 through to 1.9 have access to Nature Day, and of course these Nook Mile Plus goals. Any game with versions earlier or later than this will simply never get to experience these awesome Nature Day Nook Mile Plus goals. That being said, if for some reason you never updated past version 1.9, you could always time travel back to April in 2020 and take part in the Nature Day event and experience these special Nook Mile Plus goals. Of course, that means never updating to receive the Mario items or the Sanria villagers or the Roos or a million other things such as the DLC, for example, that were added after Nature Day was removed, so probably not worth it. But we still have no idea why Nintendo even removed this event, but it's likely they wanted some continuity with other seasonal events and maybe even saw the Nook Mile Plus goals as something players could exploit to earn more Nook Miles faster than the game needs. Who knows? Personally, I love this activity. It sucks these changes were introduced only a year after the launch of the game, and I would have loved to see some special Nook Mile Plus goals for other holidays and events added too, but maybe that's something for a future Animal Crossing game. So there we have it. Depending on when you started your New Horizons adventure, or if you're only now coming back to the game, Nature Day may very well be playing out differently than you expect. But the Cool Globe is now available in honor of the event if you want to pick it up. But what do you think of this change? Should Nintendo have kept this activity in New Horizons? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you made it to the end of the video, be sure to post nature in the comments just to let me know you did, and if you're enjoying this Animal Crossing content, be sure to check out my previous video where we cover all of the latest goings on in the world of Animal Crossing. Thank you so much to the Patreon and channel members for supporting this content. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.